Hi, it's Melinda from Hope When There Was None. So I'm coming on live to talk about why you should raise your vibe. I've been sharing some reels about raising your vibe, what it's about, low, high, and so on, but I wanted to come on and do more of an in-depth video about that. And so why should you? Now, everything is made with energy. It has energy in it, and I won't get into much of the scientific of it, but we have a rock, my glasses, tabletop, things have energy. We have energy. And what your thoughts are or say, what you think, your emotions and so on, those reflect what you want in your life. Now, this is going to sound a little bit on the woo side, but what you want to attract in your life. So if you are, let's say, you just left somebody that was toxic, or you even just left your parents' house and they're toxic. Well, what company are you keeping? Are they uplifting? Are you going home and you're going to binge on cupcakes, or maybe you're going to do some alcohol just to deaden the pain? Staying in that low funk after you've met or been with somebody that's toxic or low vibe, if you want to call it that, can really impact how you are physically, emotionally, and mentally. So those people, those stressful situations can impair your mental and physical health and emotional health as well. So we all vibrate differently, and sometimes that's good, but you can always feel somebody. When you walk into the room, I think it's like 30 feet around us is what our energy goes out. So you can tell immediately when someone walks in the room where if you like them or you don't, whether you're like, I want to hang out with that person, or you're like, ooh, no, I'm going to zip up my energy. No. So we want to go for high vibes, high vibrations, and I do encourage you to have some sort of faith, some sort of something to help ground you. Now, that could be God. For me, it's God. That could be a source. That can be universe. That can be Buddha. It can look so differently for so many different people. It could be Mother Earth, whatever that looks like for you. So we want to have that really, whatever you're going to call it, we want to have that in place too. So I do have notes here. So if you see me looking off to the side, that's what I'm doing. Our low energy, it feels dark. It feels heavy. You might feel angry. You might feel stuck. You might feel fearful. And even after you hang out with some people that are toxic, you'll notice that you are, afterwards, after you've been with them, you feel, it's like a supernatural, you feel on yourself. You feel dirty. You might feel really dark. You might feel really in a sour mood after you've left that situation. So shifting about how you respond, by the way, to that energy, it can be very challenging, but I trust me, really and truly, trust me. You can get more in control, you can get a peace of mind, and also a lot of gratitude, really and truly. And it is hard, and I'm going to talk about that in a little bit. So being in that high vibe can bring you clarity. It can even help you by bringing people or things into your life. Have you ever been in like a bookstore, as an example? So you're in this bookstore, and it's like a book leaps off the shelf, and sometimes that's really and truly what it does, or it just stands out. That book title is just like, wow. So things like that, a divine appointment. You see somebody in the store and you're like, wow, I really needed to hear that, or I really needed to share this, and they gave me clarity, they gave me the answers, or just that encouragement that I needed. So everything in our life really and truly happens when we need it, and that's really what's so cool. So what can you do? Part of the healing experience is being in survival mode, by the way. So what are things that can lower your vibe? I'm going to go through the list again. So things that can make you feel, if they make you feel sad, if they make you feel lonely, if they make you feel kind of cranky. Also, if you're not taking time for yourself to give yourself that self-love, that self-care. And I want you to start, if you don't do it, please do me a favor. How do you treat others? Okay, I want you to think about that. How you would treat others is how I want you to treat yourself. So I'm hoping you treat others like awesome. So I want you to do that for yourself. Give yourself that self-care and that self-love. Now, if you're a people pleaser, maybe you complain a lot, you gossip, or maybe these are people you hang out with. So that's another thing too. If you're having a hard time letting go of situations or people, Sometimes we got to hold on to people, even if they're toxic, because they're comfort. They are something we know, so we might gravitate and hold on to them. If you don't have any gratitude in your life, you're only looking at the Eeyore kind of things in life. You don't see, like, hey, you've got a car, you have food in the fridge, you have a job. Maybe some of those things don't pay a lot. Maybe you're on SNAP, but maybe you also... your job doesn't pay much, so on and so on, but you do have something. You do have something. You have the clothes on your back. Feeling gratitude also. Not having good coping skills. So let's say you use that alcohol, you use those drugs in order to cope as well when you're in that low point or those situations that are stressful. Also, you seem to be in this cycle of abuse or drama all the time. It seems to surround you, or you just get pulled into other people's drama. Those are things that can lower your vibe. So how do we raise that? What we want to do is, follow people that are where you want to be. Positive. They're encouraging. Maybe you want to be a better in your faith. So follow somebody that seems to have more faith or is faithful, or what are they practicing, and don't hesitate to reach out to them. Ask, hey, what are you doing? And a lot of times, I know if I do this myself, if I see somebody and I like their energy, I'm going to follow them, or I'm going to reach out to them. And I do, and I've made a lot of friends this way too. Now, of course, Gerard Butler's not going to answer, but you know what? Some other people that I really look up to have, and it's been really cool. It really has. So expand your network as well. So be conscious of your thoughts. Now, is your self-talk, and I'm talking self-talk too, is it negative? How is it? Is that voice inside your head yours or somebody else's? Right? I want you to think about that. But try to be conscious of your thoughts. What are they? Again, eat more whole foods, drink lots of water. And I know you're going to be like, Melinda, I don't like water. Well, add some fruit to it. Maybe some watermelon. Add some grapes or strawberries, lemon, limes, whatever that is. Maybe drink some herbal teas as well. Now, listening to positive music. Now, can't you encourage you more to listen to the frequency that's really higher? So once you start thinking about vibes or getting into, even, I'm encouraging you to look up vibrations and so on, and also the frequencies. Our clothing, I like doing cotton or linen. They vibrate higher, and I really like that. But like some of your rap, some of your, let's just say some of your music today, your heavy metal and so on, that's at a lower frequency. I don't know if you've noticed when you listen to different music, how that makes you feel. Does it make you feel sad? Like after X, I listened to a lot of sad songs. And what happened? I felt sad. So let's try to listen to something that's a little more uplifting, classical, or something like that. Now, also, pray. I talked about faith. Pray. Dig into your Bible. Just making sure he's dressed. Meditate. Get into a practice of meditation. It doesn't have to be like, it can look different. You could pray and meditate in God's Word. Practice random acts of kindness. This really makes you feel good. And I like doing that, and I don't tell anybody. Dance, sing, exercise, and I'm all about hula hooping. Just get your body going too. Journal. Gardening, digging in the dirt. There's been some studies that actually show that there's some good chemicals, some good things inside of our dirt, microbes and so on, that can really have a good effect in raising our endorphins. Big word for me. Think about your inner circle, as I talked about just a little bit ago. Are they positive? Are they negative? I really want you to think about that. So other things you can do are getting into some art, crafts, practicing a morning ritual. Now, that might look different for you than it does for me. It might be that you dig into morning pages, journaling. You could like to make your bed. What is it you like to do? Go for a walk your dog. Animals are really good at raising our vibration. Getting rid or cutting down on the toxins you use. That's a big one. What chemicals are you using? What are you bringing into your body? But also what is in your household too. Beauty, medicinally, and household products. See what maybe you can substitute a DIY kind of thing instead, or herbal products. What can you do? Remember to breathe. Sometimes when we're going through stressful situations, it's almost like we're holding our breath. So, good morning, ladies. Little Laura says pour her a cup of coffee too.
In the microwave for you.
So we sometimes forget to breathe. Thank you, ladies, for watching. So I want to encourage you just to take some nice breaths, big breaths, if you can. Like I'll practice here for 5. Take one more. Hold it maybe for 4 or 5. And then let go. And you can do an audible breath out. Or, or, he's going, I have coffee. But breathe. I didn't realize how much I needed and craved that deep breath. And it really gave me a lot more clarity. It woke me up and so on. And it really helps. It does. So remember, you are in control of your thoughts. You are. No one else has control of your thoughts. You have that power to say no. You have power to put those boundaries in place and keep them in place. And also learning again, who is that negative voice in your head? I bet you it's not yours. And do me a favor, when you hear that negative voice in your head, maybe it's your husband, maybe it's your mom, or a brother, sister, boss, or so on. I want you to think of that moment where you hear them. Then I want you to speed up that voice. Okay? I want you to think chipmunks. I want you to think silly voice. I want you to Mickey Mouse or whatever that is. Try to imagine that person's voice going into really high pitch. And you can even imagine this person being cartoonish, something like that too. That really was helpful for me to start navigating those negative voices. That was not mine. Those voices were not mine. Those words were not mine. That was my ex. And it really helped, especially when I had to start seeing him in person. It was a way for me to kind of change a narrative and change how I viewed him. I didn't have that fear as I would when I heard his voice. When I would see him, I wouldn't have that automatic fear. I could feel that tension and so on and so on, and I would feel that. But once I started doing that, you know, it was hard for me not to giggle or laugh when I talked to him or would see him. So that's just a little tip. That's something that I did too. So raising your vibe. I know it sounds woo. All of this sounds so woo. And you know, I am woo, but all of this sounds really strange, but it can lead you to feel more happier. It could help you physically as well as mentally. And we need that mental health sometimes. Hi, Tony. Now, I know life isn't unicorns, rainbows, and sprinkles. I know it's not. Honestly, you can't be in a high vibe all the time, and that's okay. So if you feel like crying, cry. If you feel like yelling, yell. If you are feeling like, Melinda, today is a day where I'm not doing the meditation, I'm not doing the journaling or so on, that's fine. Take baby steps. Every morning, every day, take baby steps. And if you fall off of this, that's okay. Get back up. Maybe it's a day, maybe it's a week, maybe it's a month. Get back up. I don't want you to go longer than a month though, because it's easy to get sucked back into those negative patterns. We don't want you sucked back into those negative patterns. We want you to move forward or to have those people come back into your life. You know, you might be like, I'm really craving a beer right now. But you going to the bar, maybe your partner that goes with you is somebody that goes out of control. He can't or she can't just have one. They are doing more than dancing on the tables. Perhaps they become violent or emotionally abusive. They might start hitting on the opposite sex and so on and so on. You know what I'm talking about. So maybe you don't want to go out for beer. Maybe you want to have one at home. Or maybe it's just best that you don't do it at all. You know, again, I don't want you to get stuck in those negative patterns. So we don't want to stay there. Okay, consider getting help from a professional. All of this seems too much. Reach out to a counselor, reach out to a therapist, reach out to somebody that can help you, or just phone a friend. And I know that sounds cheesy, but sometimes talking it out, having somebody that you trust that can hold space for you is just so helpful. It really is, really and truly. Now, also, when you're going into this high vibration, this might cause negative reactions from those that surround you. Really and truly, they can see these changes. They can see that, and you might not even realize it. They can start seeing that light within you. It might repel them. They might start saying, well, what's wrong with you? Or why don't you hang out the bar with us? Or why aren't you doing XYZ anymore? Or, And rather than say, oh, you seem so happy, what are you doing? They're trying to drag you down. They're just saying, well, I think it's stupid, that seems really dumb, or so on. They're not encouraging you. So again, be mindful of this. Check your circle. You might have to let them go, even if it's for a season. And I've said that before. It just might be for a month. It might have to be longer. So be mindful of that. You might just have to distance them just for a little bit. So also, from this healing comes physical. It may have physical symptoms. And what do I mean by that? Now, you might feel very emotional. As you're chipping away on your healing journey, on your raising your vibe, even if you haven't been in an abusive situation, you might feel the urge to cry. You might just become a little more emotional. You might have to poop more. Yes, I said that. Your body is holding in a lot of our trauma, a lot of our emotions, a lot of our situations. Even if it wasn't anything, again, abusive related. Perhaps you got in a car wreck, you hit a deer, or maybe you fell off your bike. Something in there might be stuck. Our body holds a lot of stuck emotions and so on. So when you're getting into this high vibration, you might have these feelings that out of nowhere are coming up. Why am I crying? I should be happy. I am at XYZ. I'm having an ice cream, or something like that. Why am I crying? But something has set you off, and that's okay. So take those deep breaths, learning how to breathe, learning how to live life without stress or that pain. It can be a little overwhelming, but I don't want you to overthink it. So when those moments happen, just let them come, let them be. Again, phone somebody, journal it out if you need to, go dance it off if you need to, get outside, do some grounding exercises, or just dig your toes in the ground, something like that. Just let it be, let it come, breathe, okay? Your brain has done a fabulous job of protecting you. It really has. And sometimes it seems a little frustrating because maybe you don't remember as much as you want to. It can process a lot of this trauma, a lot of this junk, and get rid of a lot of these emotions, a lot of that stuff, those memories. But as they bubble up again, please just let them be. It's hard to heal. Yeah, and I've shared my journey on that. It's very hard to heal, but know when you start balancing everything out, it's going to be a real awakening for you. And I do encourage you that. Keep going. I know it's going to be hard, but you can do it. Reach out to me. I'm happy to help you. I have a community called the Survivors Cafe. I forgot what the name of my community is. I encourage you join that as well for maybe more of a connection. It's for women only. Sorry, guys. But if you need some help, if you need some tips, you need some suggestions, message me privately. I can go a lot longer. There's other things that you can do to raise your vibe. And if you need that help, if you need more suggestions, message me privately. So if you liked any of these tips and suggestions, if they helped you, do me a favor and share. Hope you have a great rest of your day. Stay safe. Bye-bye.